Hello friends, my name is Rebecca and I'm from the Art Studio New York City's #1 art school. And I'm here to teach you about a very, very famous artist, and we're going to create our very own paintings at home, inspired by Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol was an artist who used all sorts of materials that we're going to use today. He used watercolors, and he used pencils, and he used paintbrushes and markers and lots more to create an artwork called pop art. Pop art is the type of artwork that's based on popular culture. So the question I have for you is, what types of popular things do you like? Andy Warhol painted all sorts of popular things, from Coke bottles to soup cans to famous singers and actresses, and he even painted flowers. So today we are going to create our very own pop art flowers inspired by Andy Warhol. You'll need watercolors and brushes. You'll need some water. You'll need pencils, some paintbrushes, and a black marker. I'm going to take my drawing pad and flip to a brand new clean page and put it on my easel. And what I'm going to do is start by just drawing 4 circles in any place. They don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect in art. So I'm going to draw 4 circles. 1, 2, count with me at home, 3, and 4. So you have 4 nice circles. And if you want to add more, you can even add more. And now I am going to draw whatever kind of flower I want. I'm going to make the petals wild and wonky and fun. And each one can be a little different based on artist's choice. When you're the artist, there's no right and wrong. There's just you expressing yourself and expressing your creativity. So now I have 4 flowers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to outline all of my pencil lines. And I'm going to continue doing that until I have outlined every single flower. So take your time and outline every single flower. And does it have to be perfect? What if you go out of the line? Does it matter? Of course not. There is no such thing as perfect. And a lot of times with art, we end up making happy mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes end up to be the very best part of our artwork. So the most important thing when you're making art is what? To have fun and to express yourself. So now we have our 4 flowers outlined. Our next step is to pick a color for the inside of every single flower. Now, since Andy Warhol really liked color, and so do I'm going to make the center a different color for each flower. Now remember, you want to dip your brush in the water, swish it around, and then dip it back in to your watercolors, and then add the paint right onto your paper. I wonder what colors you're using. Choose any colors you like. There's no right and wrong. There's just the artist's choice. And I think for my last one, I'm going to use yellow. So once I do that, what do you think the next step is? Paint the flowers. I'm going to use a bigger brush this time. And now I'm going to bring up my easel so I can put my painting here as I continue to paint it with you. I will continue to pick a different color for every single flower. And I'm going to just paint it right in there, right inside my lines. And if I go outside of the lines, does it matter? Of course not. And at home, you can follow right along, picking whatever colors you like and going ahead and painting every single flower in any color you like. Now, what if you prefer to repeat a color? Is that okay? Of course it is. No right and wrong in art, only artist's choice. So in art, when Andy Warhol would paint these paintings, he would use a lot of different materials. Sometimes he would do drawings, sometimes he would do paintings, and sometimes he used a special art supply called silk screening. She'd use these big machines to create these huge pieces of artwork. If you go to any museum, probably anywhere in the world, you'll see Andy Warhol paintings and works of art. That's how famous he is. So take your time, there's never any rush. You're going to continue to paint each one of your flowers. So I'm on my last one. I love the color blue, and I'm going to put some blue in there. Now, what happens if as you're painting, you make a mistake? Guess what? Even mistakes are beautiful. So you can either leave it just the way it is, or let it dry and you can paint over it with another color. Our next step is we're going to paint all of this background green. Now I have a few different shades of green in my watercolor palette. So I am going to use a few different shades of green as I paint the background. Because when you look at grass or you look at something outside, is it all one shade of green? No. Sometimes it's dark green, sometimes it's light green, sometimes it's bright green. And so I'm going to use different shades of green. I'm using my bigger brush and I'm going to go right around the flowers. And I am going to paint all of the white showing. Everywhere, all over my paper. And I could switch between the greens anytime I want. I can let the greens overlap. Overlapping is when one color goes on top of another. I'm going to get above and below and on top of and under all of these flowers so that all of our beautiful flowers are living in the grass. Now, as you continue painting, one thing you might want to think about is, what other types of popular things do you like to look at? Do you have a favorite thing to eat? What if you made a pop art painting about lollipops or donuts? When you finish this pop art painting, you could create another made of anything that you want. Now, in Andy Warhol's paintings, he would often make, instead of just one, flower, he always seemed to make a number of them. And so if you want in this piece or any other pop art painting, well, I made 4 flowers, you could do 5 or 6 or 10. It's up to you. When you're creating, the most important thing is for you to have the freedom to express yourself. So I'm almost done filling in my grass. And you want to take your time. And if I go over a line, does it matter? Of course not. Now, if you're getting a little messy at home, that's okay too, because you can always wash your hands and clean up when you're done. Now we're going to do one last step. I'm going to take out my small paintbrush and I'm going to dip it in black. And I'm going to mix a little black with my dark green so that I have a dark, 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 dark green. And my last step is I am going to make some blades of grass. So you can find some areas and add your own creative marks, just little lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you want to be very fancy, you can continue on your painting by adding a few more details. So I'll show you one example and then I will leave the rest to you. I am taking my red paint and I am going to make some dots and fancy patterns in the middle of my flower. So you can continue on with your Andy Warhol painting until it feels finished to you. Thank you for joining me and New York City's #1 rated art school, the Art Studio New York. Visit us at www.theartstudiony.com and enjoy all of the exciting and inspiring art classes that we have ready for you. Have a great day.